nowadays, or either Trump or Elon Musk, the issue they do is highly disorganized. Mainly, they just doing everything according to their own understanding. And just Ms. Reynolds mentioned very important. All these guys, including Trump, including Elon Musk, they just believe they understand everything, but de facto they understand nothing. And they are so confident and they have so emotionally to doing the things. Then finally, it will transfer the so-called organized political movement into a completely disorganized mess. First, in the United States, when we're talking about the deep state, frankly speaking, that's the US government officials in these bureaucracies make standing government institutions. Without these standing guys, you cannot have a government. Of course, there are low efficiencies, there's a lot of problems. You need to do it very carefully and sophisticatedly rather than just cut this off, cut that off, like a political campaign. Let's take example that the latest conflict between Elon Musk and Mark Rubio on the Department of State. Before Rubio became the new state of secretaries, he can support Elon Musk to challenge the so-called deep state inside the state bureaucracy systems, which means they are not my guys. And your challenges, you're calling for a radical reforms of these bureaucracy systems will providing me advantages. When I enter this department, I have the opportunities to reorganize it, and you will helping me to countering those traditional bureaucracies and make them more easy to avoid my new orders. But when Mark Rubio got his office, and Elon Musk want to continue his radical reforms, then the conflict emerged. Who is the real leaders of this department? If the Mark Rubio is the leaders, he will not allow that Elon Musk become the new orders, become the man can deliver the orders to the Department of State employees bypassing Mark Rubio's agreement. That means this internal power conflict break out inside Trump's teams. But to Elon Musk launched this movement, have his own ideas and his own requirement. It's very clear he has at least three goals. The first, he wants to deregulations for his own companies. He has a very personal own interest to push forward the deregulation process selectively, which will make his own companies got the most part of these benefits during that process. And the second, Elon Musk has his own ideas how United States should be governed. He belonged to the groups, which means the cynical right wings. These guys, their real idea is in anarchy world, which means they did not believe any authorities or any kind of the governments. They believe that they are the only supermans has the enough intelligence to governance the normal peoples, not only inside the United States, but maybe also maybe the world. And the federal government is nothing more than a kind of agent. And these guys will stand beside and use the very advanced, sophisticated tools, machines represented by the artificial intelligence to governance those stupid mass peoples. This are completely different story or scenarios comparing to the way that the United States nowadays is de facto running. To launch that dreams, Elon Musk needed to do one thing. That means completely destroy the reputation of federal government of the United States inside the US normal peoples. So that's what we see that the Doge department did during the process. They use a very defaming ways. They just launch fragmented informations and use these informations to defaming the federal governments, make people believe all those guys, they just waste the tax and doing the thing stupid, or they just become more very corrupted and put this tax into their own pocket. That means that destroy the confidence and the reputations of the US federal government. Number three, Elon Musk, he did not really understand, and he didn't care too much about the so-called US hegemony running in the world. From China's side, he's cutting off of USAID, and just these few days, Trump said that I will close down the VOA and the Radio Free Asia. It's a very, how to say, we cannot make any comment. Those institutions is one of the most important tools that help United States winning the Cold War or during the political pressures to countries like China in the several decades. And nowadays, United States federal government say that these institutions that waste money and doing something stupid, I will close them by myself. No more classic self-defeating actions and policies. Frankly speaking, from China's side, we believe that it's a good thing. It will decrease those stupid disinformation and misinformation from that institutions. But we are also very worried. Such kind of radical change of US institutions, can they be stable? Which means till now, Trump is all still the president, not the really king, which means he had only 4 years in the terms. What will happen after that 4 years? Will the United States change back again? Not maybe the new terms of the new admins is the United States is back again, not great again, back again, and then change everything. Trump changed in the just opposite directions. This like United States just running this way and change that ways. Such kind of radical change of the United States to China's side is not a very good signals because we just don't know what will happen. Too much uncertainties. Those uncertainties in this anarchy world is the most negative effects of those elements that we want to face in dealing with this very complicated diplomatic and foreign relations. But in the short terms, I think, I mean, in the coming years inside Trump's teams, I just worry that the sustainability and to which extent the US domestic political stables can be kept. Because during that radical change provided by the Doge department and the Trump administrations inside the United States, the US domestic conflicts, those tensions may be rising by some, how to say, extraordinary elements like the sudden shutdown of those stock markets or something else, whether we will have a large-scale crisis inside the United States, not only a governance crisis, but a kind of political crisis with the potential that large-scale conflict will break out inside the United States, make countries like China worried very much. I think all the world, no matter what kind of different interest we have, we wish that the great powers can be kept stable domestically. Such kind of stability is very important to the stability of the world systems, especially to keep the peace of the world systems. So that development really make people feel uncomfortable and a little bit nervous to preparing for any potential crisis which were triggered by the US domestic element, which is out of control by anyone. No one can predict what will happen next. No one can predict, no one can affect those crazy guys represented by Elon Musk or Trump. When they wake up in the day, say that I will do this, I have a good idea. Make this the world just to feel crazy.